Hey, hi everybody. Welcome in. We are here today. Get the right buttons all pushed. We're here today with Sandy, Crochet Canada.
Hi.
Good morning. Thank you so very much for joining in today. I really appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. We've got Michelle from Crochets in Canada here, and Denise. Hi, Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Few people joining us. Think we got a few people probably lurking in the background. So I'd like to give everybody a chance to get in and say hi, howdy. Whoops, I didn't turn the volume down on my phone. Better get that done, or that's going to be a mess. All right. All right. Angela, hello. Thank you for popping in this morning. I appreciate that. So, Miss Sandy, how are you doing?
Good. I'm starting to calm down now from the after effects of Yarnapalooza.
Yeah.
So that was always gets me all keyed up. And then I just mailed off all the boxes yesterday. And so now I can just whew.
Plus have a little bit of stuff out of your environment too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well, I tell you, even with the Yarnapalooza, there's not even a dent made in my yarn.
I know.
I'm addicted.
Yep. Aren't we all? That's why we're here. That's why we're here. Hey, good morning, Yvette. Thank you for popping in today. Yeah, I noticed you've got some beautiful yarn behind you. I just in the last few weeks got a shelf unit. So I finally have some of my yarn, probably somewhere, I was going to say 3/4, but let's get real. Probably half of my yarn is up on my shelf unit now. So
Good.
it is. It's nice to be, because it's always just been in boxes and totes everywhere. Hey, Crystal. And so it's like I want to start this new sweater, and I just went to my wall and picked out some yarn, and it was so nice. Where before I would have ordered something because I don't know what I have and can't see it, so it doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, exactly. I still have totes around me.
Oh, yes.
But most of it's all yarn ends and stuff, like half balls and stuff like that. So it's
I don't have a lot of that yet. Not yet. So Sandy, thank you so much for taking your time and joining us today. I really, really appreciate it.
No problem.
Can you tell us how you picked your name?
It's actually kind of a funny story. George and I do craft fairs every year. And I didn't really, my original name was, what the heck was it now? It's been so long. Sandy's Crafty Creations. And people would come up to our table and go, "Oh, crochet?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And it happened all the time. So George said, "Why don't we just call this Crochet? And I was like, "That's brilliant."
That's cute.
And then I just tacked on the Canada after that, because I noticed that there was a couple of channels that were kind of similar. So I just said, "Okay, Crochet Canada." And that's been the name ever since.
That is wonderful. It's so cute. And it's so easy to remember.
Well, I think a lot of people that aren't Canadian don't understand the A, because when they say my name, they say crochet and stuff like that. So they don't understand.
Crochet. No, that's so
I crochet
funny. That is funny. Because we're so used to the crochet. I mean, it's kind of a joke. The A thing,
but it's true. Oh, did you freeze?
Oh
no,
I think you're frozen. Good morning, Dana. Good morning, Wanderlust Raid. Thank you so very much. And I think Sandy has frozen. Dana, can you see me? I'm doing a check. Let me look. Oh, are you back, Sandy?
Oh, you're back. Okay, good. I'm going, uh-oh.
Mine did not freeze on my end.
Oh, that's weird.
Nope, it was just you that froze, Sandy. We've got
Oh,
a
because you're
Wanderlust raid coming in.
okay, because you're glitching a little bit.
Oh, my
Oh,
internet last
I think
night
we're
was
okay.
doing that too.
Oh, I
Is it
think we're
better
okay
now?
now. Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. Hi,
Oh,
Dana.
the joys of internet too, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna bring this up. I didn't bring it up on my phone today. Usually I do just so I can see how things look.
Hmm.
And I didn't do that this morning. There's Crochet. So cute. I just adore that name. I love the stories behind the names because they're always something really interesting. Okay, here
Well,
we go.
George is my PR guy. He comes up with a lot of good stuff.
He's adorable. All right, what did I do with that other little stand? I just had it here. I just moved it out of my way. There it is. All right, so I can set my phone up now so I can see how things look while we're doing this. I turned it off last night because um, my internet was really struggling to keep up. And I thought, okay, I'll turn off some of my extra, phones and things, and it'll help with the internet. Okay, there
Right.
now I can see what's going on. Perfect.
Amber.
So let's do some good mornings as long as hi Miss Amber. Hey Frog, Diane, thank you for joining us today. And of course Dana, KB Fibers. Good morning. KB Fibers. We just found out me just found out yesterday that KB Fibers can knit left-handed.
Ooh.
And I am in the middle of a left-handed knitting crisis. So
Ooh. Wow.
okay, I'm just
I
gonna
can't
go in
knit
and
for my life.
do a quick hello for everybody. Denise, Angela, hi, Yvette. Now, Yvette, I'm going to call you Roger. Please forgive me. I'm terrible with names. So I'll do my best. Crystal, Kelly, hi, from Indiana. Are you guys having that terrible heat there in Indiana? Hey, Lisa. Good morning, Cheryl. Hey, Frog. Raise your addiction. Hi. Roseanne. There's Miss KB Spiffy Handmade. Hi. Christina Curry. Hello again. Charlie. Hi there. Angela. Susan. Hello. Hey, Jack. Big loves and kisses to Jack. Kelly and Charlie. I feel like, oh my gosh.
Romper room.
Yes. I was just going to say that. Number room. I need my little mirror. It's showing our age.
And there's Dina and Amber and
I said that to somebody the other day and they looked at me like I was nuts. I'm like, okay, I'm very old. Hey, Mary. Papa Drew's RV. Hi. How are you? Michelle Crochets in Canada. All right. And then Miss Amber. I think that's everybody. Okay. So y'all know the drill. If I can't say hello to you, I'm waving at everybody. Oh my gosh. What a wonderful group this morning. Oh, terribly hot there. Yeah. I just heard that England registered their hottest day ever in the history of tracking
oh,
temperatures. That happened to us here last summer. We hit 115, and 101 is like as high as you're ever going to see here. And
oh,
last summer, about this time, it hit 115. This year, I think we've barely broke 90. So, but our hottest time is coming. Usually the first week of August is the hottest time here. So,
yeah. I
but
think our hottest here in BC is probably. I think we've hit 100 like once last year, but for the most part, it's up in the high 80s.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
about what we do. They're asking about your beautiful new haircut. Show off your hair. Isn't it so cute?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, we were just talking about that. I, some of my subscribers know I had COVID in January and I started suffering from the COVID hair loss. And I noticed on some of my videos that when I turned my head a certain way, there was bald spots. And because I knew when I was having a shower and stuff, I'd be pulling clumps of hair out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, that's it. Like I'm cutting my hair, I'm coloring my hair, we're done. So yeah, so I took about 2 feet off my hair.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
The hairdresser was kind of like, "Are you
Are you
sure?"
sure?
I'm like,
Yeah, they don't like to do that. Cut it all off.
so yeah. So I'm glad I did it.
Good.
It's been so much better,
It's
and
so cute.
I can just throw a hat on if I need
Mhm.
to or whatever. So this
Yeah.
part of it's kind of drives
Yeah.
me a little
I
bananas,
hate the
but
hair in my face. That's why, I mean, this is it.
yeah.
It's rare you're going to see me without my hair all pulled back off of my face. Good morning,
Yeah.
Miss Angela. Yeah, it's a real
Yeah.
cute.
There's my girl.
Yeah, she raves about you. She raves about
I
you.
don't know why. Every time she does it, I'm sitting behind the computer screen just blushing and just going, "What is she seeing that I'm not seeing?" Yeah.
Well, I know, as a matter of fact, she has told me, if you have any problems, you need to connect with Sandy. She can help you with anything. And it's nice because
If my
that's the way
brain's
I feel.
working right that day.
That's the way I feel about Amber and oh, my brain. Talk about brains. Crystal from the Yarny Chicken. Poor thing. No matter what I've got going on, I'm like, Crystal, and she does her best to help me. And God bless her. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I still can't get that name drop robot thing to work on here,
Oh, yeah.
but we're doing our best. We're doing our best. We're muddling through, as they say.
Yeah.
But so, Sandy, how did you get started on YouTube?
Oh, wow. I well, like most of us, I used to just watch a whole bunch of different channels, and I would learn new techniques and everything. And it wasn't, I give props to Lisa from Lisa's Crochet because I saw her channel when she first started, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this, and I messaged her and I said, "Hi, I watch your channel." And and she's just like, "Who is this?" Yeah. So I says, I'm starting my channel and everything, and I sent her a care package, and she had no idea who I was. And I did that. I started sending out care packages to people, to YouTubers, saying, "Hi, it's me. I'm starting a channel." And that's pretty much how I got started. I was nervous.
Oh, yeah.
I was doing all my videos out on my back porch.
Mhm.
And I was just like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just going to do what everybody else is doing.
Yeah,
So that's what I did. And here we are.
that's wonderful. That's a great story. I love it when people take the bull by the horns and just do it. When I very first started, I hadn't had a single video yet, and I was in this group of how to start a YouTube channel.
Mm,
And they had a lot of good information, but you're still scared to death. And finally, this one guy, and they've got a very successful channel, and he told me, he goes, just put up a video. It doesn't matter how bad you are because
mhm.
nobody's going to see it anyway. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's like a
you're
practice.
right.
Yeah.
You are right. Because those first ones got like 5 views, and 3 of them were you on different phones.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you're just talking to a camera, right?
Mhm,
So
uh-huh,
um, it's easy to be able to just kind of get all your bugs out, so to speak,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
But the minute you get that first subscriber, you're like,
Yep,
okay,
yep.
now I know somebody's watching.
Somebody's watching, and it's not your best friend or one of your kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
none of them watch the videos. Nobody in my family watches the videos. I'll be like, my daughters, I'm like, did you see? And she's like, oh, did
Yeah.
did you have any video? She's like, I
Yeah.
run them. I let them run so you get the watch hours, Mom. Well, yeah, but I thought maybe you'd like to actually watch the video. Oh no,
Yeah.
no
Well,
interest
the
whatsoever.
whole purpose to me doing it was so that if anything was to happen to me, it
Hmm.
would be kind of like a journey that my kids could watch. And,
Yeah.
like there's so many people that say, oh, my mom's been gone this long and I'm starting to not remember her voice.
Yeah.
Or, I'm starting to miss details that I can't remember. So I thought this would be a great way for my kids to go back time and time again and
Mhm.
be able to see me, and
Yeah.
that maybe the grieving wouldn't be so bad.
Mhm.
If my kids even grieved, but um, but like that was my whole purpose behind it. And but now, like, I had no idea that it was going to turn out like this.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to have a following. I had no idea I was going to have people that almost rely on me to come on here,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it shocked me. It
Yeah.
absolutely, and it humbled me, like, I'm just me,
Right.
and to be honest, it doesn't matter how big you get, you have that humbling every
Mhm.
once in a while
Mhm.
that you kind of go, I'm just me. Like, I'm just talking. I'm just,
Mhm.
Jennifer from Cinnamon Stitches is an example, right? Like, I watched her from
Oh,
long
yeah.
time ago,
All forever,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Forever.
and she, before she hit the big time, in
Mhm.
my mind, it's the big
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
She was always saying, I'm humbled, like, I'm just me. I'm just, and she would just say, I don't understand what you guys are seeing, and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And it's hard,
It
because,
is.
when you got somebody, Angela, like, that's gushing over you all the time, you're just going, like, I'm stumped. Like, I look at George all the time, just going, and he says, but you're this, and everybody loves you. And I'm just like, I don't understand. So,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
wonderful. It's nice.
It's a great medium to be able to do that kind of thing. I know what you mean about losing when you lose someone like your mom. My mom died last January, so it's been just
Oh,
over a year. And every now and again, you know how you get those things on your phone where you were doing a year ago or 2 years
yeah.
ago, and every now and again one of her pictures will pop up, and it's
Oh,
just kind of a shocker,
yeah.
but you're glad to see him because you had forgotten those moments.
Hmm.
I'm getting teary, but the other day one I'm sorry. The other day one popped up and it was her with all the grands sitting
Oh,
on my
wow.
daughter's front porch. And it was because my memories, my most recent memories are the nursing home and her being sick.
Hmm.
And,
Yeah.
it was in the middle of COVID, so we couldn't go visit her. So they would set
Yeah.
her up in the window and we would have to talk to her through a window.
Oh,
And
that's
it was,
hard.
it was horrible. It was horrible. And it was so sad.
Oh,
And so it's really great to see some of those. And if a photo can do that,
hmm.
this is just fabulous to be able to share some of the things that you're most interested in and
Yeah.
most important to you, your crafts and your
Mhm.
makes and things like that. So that's a really good. Thank you so much, Ray. I told you I'd end up being all snotty and needing a Kleenex. If it's
Well,
not my dog's
that's
making me cry, my kids, my mom.
yeah, but that's the thing. Like, that's why I did some videos with my kids on them, right? Like, both my kids, we did Q&As and stuff like that.
Yeah, how
And
cute, how fun.
that was the purpose, was so that they could look back
Mhm.
on it, right?
My daughter had me do there's these books you could buy from Hallmark, and I don't know if they still do them, but the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, it was like Charlie Brown's Christmas or
Mm,
The Night Before Christmas, those kind of books, and you record reading them. And so
yeah.
I've done those 4 or 5 of those for the grands and, send them out to them so they can
Wow.
turn the pages and listen to me read them. And my mom had done that as well, so the kids have me and my mom reading those Christmas books to them.
Oh,
And
I should do that.
yeah, yeah,
I've
every
got
year at
to,
Christmas I think Hallmark, they're not cheap, but they're not horrifically expensive. I want to say they're in the 20 to $25 range.
when it
And
comes to something like that,
right,
you don't even think about the price,
yeah,
right? Like, it's the memory You
Mm-hmm.
know, like I don't remember my grandma at all. Like
Oh.
she died when I was 8. So
Mm-hmm.
I have very like I think I've got 2 memories that stand out, and that's it. And it's so sad because you do, as you get older, you lose
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this is going to be what I expected it to be for them.
Nice. It's funny you mentioned your grandma because just yesterday, as I was moving stuff around, I came across a doily that my grandmother had crocheted, and it's the
Oh,
pineapple pattern, and
oh
it's this kind
wow.
of an oblong pineapple doily. I just found it yesterday, and then I found two of them, and here's the other one.
Ooh,
Isn't
pretty.
that beautiful? So
Oh,
this has got to be 100 years old.
oh
It has to be
wow.
because she died when I was 10, so that's 50 years ago, and
Wow.
she wasn't crocheting when I was conscious of her. She couldn't her hands wouldn't allow her to do it anymore, but she
Right.
loved to make these doilies, and
Oh
so
wow.
this was my grandmother made this, and she's the one that taught me to crochet. My grandma's the one that taught me to crochet. I can remember sitting in the back of our station wagon. Back in the day, we
Mhm.
used to sit backwards and look out that back window. And I
Yep.
don't know how my poor grandma got stuck back there with me, but my mom was driving, and me and her are we used to call it the way back, looking out that back window. And she taught me, I
Oh
remember
wow.
chaining, making my first chains in the back on the driving to Seattle to see my aunt and my cousins. Isn't it funny how
Oh,
certain memories like that? I can't tell you what I
yeah.
had for breakfast, but I remember that from
I
50.
know, right?
So isn't that
Yeah.
beautiful? And her work, and I have looked at this thing and I cannot find a mistake on it anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think she ever made a mistake. So that sits
Oh,
out here on my little desk next to my couch. And then the other one that I found is in the bedroom under my lamp. I
aw.
love doilies and I use them everywhere. People think I'm nuts, but I always have. I always have
Yeah.
like doilies. So
Aw.
yes. Um, thank you, Sue. Trish, September. Okay. Um, Trish from Purple Yarnivore needs watch hours. If you could run a playlist, I was just watching one of her things this morning. Yeah, if and the easiest way to help people that are hurting for watch hours is throw a playlist on in the background while you go to work in the morning or run it during the night, and that helps people tremendously. And
Mhm.
if you do a playlist, then you don't have to worry about it ending and going to somebody else's video. I've had that happen a lot of times. But yeah,
Yeah.
she's getting. I don't know if you guys know how YouTube works. They run our hours on a 365-day cycle. So every day, 365 days ago, your hours drop off, and you have to maintain that
Yeah.
4,000 hours. So she's
They
getting.
don't make it easy.
No, they do not. KB, watch hours are important. So a YouTube tutorial for those of you who don't know. Um, they require you to have 1,000 subscribers. Well, and you
Mhm.
guys, most of you guys know, you hit 500 subscribers, and then you can have a community page. You hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, which is hard to do, you guys. Trust me, it is hard to get those hours. Then you start getting a few pennies for all those ads. If you're watching somebody and they don't have 1,000 subscribers, skip those ads. Nobody's getting anything out of it but YouTube. Just skip by those ads. If they've got 1,000, you'll never know how many watch hours they have, unless, like me, they tell you all the time. Because I tell people, hey, I don't have the watch hours. Don't worry about the ads, but I'm sneaking up on it. So once you know they've got those watch hours, they're monetized and they start getting paid for those ads. So watch those awful ads at the beginning of the video. They're usually 15 to 20 seconds. I know they're very annoying, KB, but that's how we keep YouTube free
Yeah.
for everybody. So at the beginning, if it's less than 30 seconds, you got to watch the whole thing. If it's more than 30 seconds, and I've had 10-minute ads pop up, watch
Oh,
it for 30 seconds and then
yeah.
you can skip it. And then your content creators will get a tiny little bit of money for that. That's what keeps
Tiny.
YouTube free. And it's tiny. It is tiny. It takes a bazillion people to watch the ads to get any money at all. But
Yeah. You don't get rich on this.
no,
Not
not
unless you're like
really big,
way, way
really
up.
big. As a matter of fact, it was just funny. One of the guys I watch, he's on a cruising channel, and he just hit. I want to say they just hit 20 or 30,000 subscribers, something like that. And he was telling me that, and they put in a lot of work. He drops content every day, and he's got quite a bit of I can't think of the word I want. Where like uh, what is
I
it?
can't help
You
you.
I'm just making this up because I can't think of anything. So let's say I have furls, and if you go to furls through
Oh,
my,
yeah. Oh no.
why can't I think of the word? But anyway,
Okay,
so
somebody dropped the word.
yeah, so what do you say it if you're affiliate? If you're an affiliate,
Affiliate. There we
oh
go.
my god, thank you. I feel much
That
better.
hurt.
It's not just me. So through the affiliate stuff, he's making about $80,000 a year, right? But he's got, like I said, 50 or 60,000 subscribers, and good content. So, and he does the lives and he does the remotes, and I mean, it's his full-time job, and he's working it and he's figured it out. And but most people that I talk to, 20 or 30 bucks a month is
Yeah.
what you're bringing in. So none of us are getting rich off of this, but that's kind of how the thing is. Yeah, 3 cents exactly, KB, 3 cents. But all those 3 cents is being cut up, and maybe I'll get a decent light out of it, or help with
Yeah.
it'll help with the postage for mailing things out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
I don't
yeah,
do it for the money. I just do it
no,
because I
you
enjoy the
can't.
community so much.
If you're doing it for the money, you're going to be sadly disappointed, and your
Yeah.
content's not going to be as good.
No,
That's the way I feel
it's,
about it. Your
yeah.
content's not going to be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So, having said all that, Purple Yarnivore is on the verge of dropping hours, so we need to get in there and get her some hours. And I have
Yes.
no problem letting people know who needs hours and who doesn't. Or, I mean, everybody needs hours, but who's really struggling with their hour issues. And it's amazing if you drop out for a couple 3 weeks,
Mm.
your
Oh,
hours
yeah.
will plummet, absolutely plummet. So yeah, it
It's
always
very
scares me.
finicky.
Hey, good morning, Sandy. Good morning, Left is Right. We've been trying to connect. I've been trying to connect with you. Okay, so where were we? Let's talk about, you had mentioned your craft shows. Let's talk about your craft shows.
Okay, what would you like to know?
Tell us all about that. How'd you get started in them? What do you sell? Where do you go?
Oh,
Are you still
wow.
doing them?
Well, I do more than just crochet. I'm a craftivore.
All right.
Say
Yeah,
the word. I don't knit. I've tried knitting. I get all tangled up in knitting needles and yarn, and it's like not worth my stress. But I do a lot of other crafts, not so much anymore. We cleaned out my craft room downstairs and I sold off a whole bunch of stuff. So, but I do like any type of craft that you can see on YouTube. Like YouTube and Pinterest are just, I get so lost in it. And then I see a craft and go, oh, I want to try that. And I had, oh my gosh, my craft room downstairs was massive, and I had everything and anything you could possibly need for any craft. But when I was doing craft fairs, I was making jewelry. And so that was all I did. I just made jewelry, and I did it for probably about 10 years, and I did really well at it. And then they changed things so that they would have like 7 jewelers in a room, with, just a few other crafts, like a knitter, a crocheter, a wood maker, but the majority of it was jewelry. So the market became completely flooded. And I thought, you know what? It's time to get out. So I quit and I started crocheting. And it was my mom had passed away in 2008, and she never taught me how to crochet. she taught my niece. So my niece actually taught me
Oh,
how
funny.
to do a granny square after my mom passed away. And so I started crocheting, and then I was like, well, I haven't done a craft fair in a long time. I wonder if anybody would buy anything. I was making hats,
Hats.
hats. And so that's how I kind of got into crafting or doing craft fairs with my crochet. Was I was the hat lady. And so I had a massive display of hats, and like way too much for anybody to choose from. You know, I made a lot of mistakes, when it came to craft fairs. But it wasn't until I got together with George that the craft fair scene really took off for me, because nobody would do craft fairs with me. My sister would do them every once in a while, but it's a big undertaking. I mean, especially if you had
That
back
is.
then, you had to take your own tables and everything.
Mhm.
So like George is, well, if anybody's seen my videos with George on it, he's a talker.
Mhm.
And he has a personality that really works in the craft fair scene. I mean, he can schmooze with the best of them. So when we do craft fairs, I sit behind the table and crochet, and he's at the front of the table selling. So it works out well. And but now I'm getting back into doing jewelry again. So now I'm going, I don't know what to do. So George says, well, just put a few things out.
Yeah, just
I
put a few
says, but
things out. That's the next thing.
the problem is that most of the people that are running the craft fairs now, they want you to do one or the other. You can't
Oh.
just, like, it has to be related to your main thing. So like I could put stitch markers out or something like
Mhm.
that. But unless I have an agreement with them, I
Mhm.
can't do both.
Well,
So,
2 stitch markers is
mhm,
a set of earrings.
exactly. They
So
don't need to know that.
they don't need to. Yeah. 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 Because
So
there's
yeah,
been
so
many
that's it.
times I've seen stitch markers and I'm like, "Oh, what pretty earrings."
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I have grabbed an earring to use as a stitch marker. So,
Oh yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't realize, but I guess that kind of makes sense because if they're truly trying to not overwhelm their craft fair with a bunch of one type of thing,
Yeah.
or the other thing that annoys me from the other side of the from your side of the table at a craft fair is when they'll assign booth space and it's like I'm selling hats and she's selling hats and she's selling hats and there's nobody else in the whole place selling hats. Don't
Hmm.
glop us all together. It's fine if we're walking around and see different booths, but don't put them all
Yeah.
together. So that kind of makes sense. They want to know exactly what you're doing. Um,
It drives me crazy when they put too many crocheters together.
mhm.
Period. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's like, I mean, unless it's like the last craft fair that we did, there was us, and I had this last year was the first year that I actually started selling my wearables, like my sweaters and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But for the most part, it was all hats up until this point. But then they had another crocheter on the other side, but she did all baby stuff.
Oh,
So there was no,
right. No competition.
crossing,
Right, right.
right? In the hallway, there was another lady that did hats, but she did wool hats,
Mm,
so that's okay, but when you get, like we had a year, one year we had a lady who was making hats and selling them for like $2 to $5.
hmm.
And
Okay.
I said, how can you make hats for that? And she says, oh, I get my yarn from a thrift store. And I'm like, okay, but you do realize that you are killing the rest of us,
Mm-hmm.
like that's, but I mean, I have to rely on quality.
Yep.
It's, when you look at it, what you're paying for,
Hmm.
so Good for her. She made a lot of money, but it's, to me, it's not fair. You've got to know your market. You've got to
Right.
know the crafters and how much they're selling their stuff for. I mean, that's just me. I don't like undercutting. I don't like if I see something on another crafter's table that's crocheting and I think they're really cool. If somebody says to me, "Do you make slippers?" No, but she does.
Mm-hmm.
No. And I'll send them to the other person.
Right.
I'm not sitting there saying, "No, I don't," but if you give me your number, I can
Yeah. I'll figure
do it
something
for
out
you.
and get back to you.
Like, no, if it's there, they're going to see it anyway. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
go and around the, as George calls it, the round.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
everybody goes to the round. I'm just going to go round, and then they don't come back.
Mm-hmm.
Twilight Zone
Yeah.
disappeared.
Yeah.
But she does have the world's greatest salesman working for her, so that
Yes.
helps.
I
Yeah.
told the
Sorry,
You
have
can
to
say
put more.
hey.
okay. Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice day at work. And she
Oh,
she
you
already
too.
told us you were the world's greatest salesman.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
I did my 2 minutes of gushing over you.
I missed it. Am I going to be able to watch this later?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Goodbye.
you can watch it on the replay.
I'll be checking to see what she said.
Okay, good. Because I need the watch hours.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I am still in the spot where I don't think my stuff is good enough to sell. And I'm certainly not prolific enough.
Oh,
Um,
honey, I I am the worst person for that. My mom actually was way worse than me. My mom made beautiful things and she was like, "Oh no. No, no, no." And I'm going, "Mom, you could sell this." And she's like, "No, mm-mm, mm-mm." And she wouldn't do it. So, there was a lot of loss in that sense of, she could have made herself an income. She was a stay-at-home mom, right?
Mhm.
Like she could have made an income for herself, but her self-esteem got in her way.
Mhm.
And I think that there's a lot of crocheters and knitters out there that feel the same way
Yeah.
that you do. Like I go to I make something and I'm like, so I asked George, "What do you think?" Well, he tells me everything I make is great.
Right.
So I can't really judge that. So I take it to a craft fair. I have a bin. I have a bin of things I don't like.
Mhm.
And usually those are the first things that sell.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. I go to hand it to the person and I'm like, "But what about this one?" Yeah. And they're like, "No, I love this." And I'm just like, "Okay."
How can that
So
be?
don't be afraid to
Yeah.
put yourself out there, because people will buy it, and, we're all our own worst critic,
Mhm.
so
That's the truth.
we can't judge it on that.
That is
We
the
have to
truth.
let the public decide.
Well, and it's like because we've made the product, we know it's like I can pick anything that up I've made, and I'm like, oh, there's that mistake. Look what I did there. I messed that up. And anybody else wouldn't, unless they're a crocheter, they're not going to have a clue. And usually, even if they are a crocheter, they aren't,
Mhm. Yeah.
scouring it for errors.
Yeah.
And I mean, yesterday, I am making the simplest of simple granny squares. I mean, there is nothing fancy about this. And I had to tear out this much of it because
Oh,
I skipped one of the sides on the corner. And so it was round. I'm like, what have
oh,
I done? And I did that for 5 rows.
oh, I've done it many times.
So, but everything I make has some little mistake in it somewhere. And a long time ago, I read something that said you have to have a mistake in every item. It's what it brings good luck or it blesses it, and it was somebody's
Yeah.
way of saying, yeah, I made a mistake. I ain't doing anything about it. So I'm like, my
Yeah.
things are very blessed because even when I'm paying close attention, there's always 2 or 3 mistakes
Oh,
in
yeah.
there that
Yeah.
I've missed.
I've had so many mistakes in my stuff. It's crazy. And I just,
Mhm.
if I put it on the stand at the craft fair and I see that mistake, I pull it.
Mm-hmm.
I pull it and I don't sell it. And George
just-
goes, just put it out there. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, because nobody is gonna care. Nobody's
No.
gonna care. What's your favorite thing to sell at the craft fairs?
Oh boy. Now that I started selling my wearables, it's really hard to say because I was absolutely shocked at how well my sweaters went.
Mm.
I didn't think, like, the first day, everybody kind of looked and went, oh, that's nice, and then didn't buy anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next 2 days of the craft fair, I almost sold out. So my gauge is kind of off now.
Mm-hmm.
But I love making sweaters. Anybody that watches my channel knows that. Like, I'm addicted to making sweaters. I thought the pocket shawl craze was going to be one of my favorite things to do, but it ended up not being that way because I ended up getting a huge order from one of George's friends in Canada that is a Canucks hockey team fan.
Oh,
I had to make 8 sets of hat and scarves and pocket shawls and all that. And I was just like, I don't ever want to make another one of these again.
Yeah, never want to do this again. Yeah, I
No.
understand that. I have a weirdness that when I use a pattern and make something, it's like, okay, I'm done. I never want to do this again. Even if I enjoyed it, even if I loved the product. And I didn't realize that until last year when somebody said, oh, that's real pretty. Why don't you make another one? No. And I think maybe part of it is because there's, 10,000 things I want to make.
Yeah.
And
I'm a one-off person too. That's why at craft fairs we always say it's a one of a kind because I don't make it again.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if I was going to make anything again, it would be in a different yarn, a different color, whatever. But I never make it more than twice.
That's so cool.
I
don't think of that as with craft fair. I think of you doing like 30 of the same thing, maybe in different colors.
That's what George wants me to do. He wants me to pick one thing, maybe 2 things, and make it consistently. My sister says the same thing. And I'm like, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I just know. Because, he says, we've got too many things on the table. Nobody can make a decision, and all the successful people say, pick one thing, and make it the best you can, even on Shark Tank and stuff like that, they say the same thing, right? Perfect that one thing. I can't. Variety to me is the spice of life. And I get bored. I just, even though I'm making sweaters all the time, I'm making different sweaters. So technically I'm doing what they said.
No, I think, no, I agree. And I like the idea of having sweaters and hats and cowls and headbands and mittens and scarves because, everybody has a different need. I know some of the ladies on here, sorry, I didn't mean ladies, some of the people on here, because I know we do have some guys that watch, have said, I'm in Florida. I don't need a hat. I don't need a scarf.
Yeah.
But they like a lightweight shawl. They like a scarf that's more decorative than warm. Right. And I'm thinking you in Canada, you've got a heavy tilt towards warm. Yeah, towards warm. And sweaters are tricky though because sizing and shaping, and some people like a high neck and some people like a low neck, and sleeves. I've got ridiculously long arms and everything hits me right there. Nothing comes down to here. Everything's about 2 inches too short for me when I'm making stuff. And so sweaters would be tricky.
Well, the thing in your case, though, if a sweater is made and it's made out of acrylic and they make it at just the right size, after you wash it, it's going to stretch.
It grows.
So
Yeah.
it will end up being the right length, right? I found that mistake with a lot of sweaters when I started making them, is that after I washed them, the sleeves were out here.
Mm.
And I was just like, well, there goes that sweater, So I started making my sleeves a little bit shorter to get for that,
To
because
accommodate
you
that.
know that when somebody buys your sweater,
Oh
they're
yeah,
going to
it's
put
going
it
in
in
the wash.
warm water, they're going to put it tumble dry it, and
Yep.
and it's going to end up being, I put a tag on all of my sweaters saying cold water, lay flat to dry, or air tumble, right? Like, do not put it in a hot dryer or anything like
Mhm.
that, because it's going to end up looking like you just walked into
Yeah.
a wet,
Hmm.
like it's just going to be way too big. And I have a couple of sweaters, like I made an alpaca sweater a long time ago. I had to throw it out, and because it was just, oh, it was awful, awful. And I was devastated because it was so pretty.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's trial and error, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is very much. Um, and I made my first sweater ever for my grandson in January-ish, February-ish. It was still cold. And it was before we came back to Washington. Had I known, I would have just waited. I didn't know we were coming back that soon. And so my first sweater ever for somebody who is on the other side of the country. So there's no
Mm,
measuring, there's no trying things on, there's no
yeah.
seeing how it looks. And I I'm telling him, I'm like, okay, take your favorite t-shirt. Now measure across the shoulders. Now measure how long it is. So he gets out his metal measuring tape
Oh,
from the place, and I'm like, you need to know how long it is from here to here and how long. And I'll tell you what, that sweater fit him like it was custom made for him.
oh,
And
good.
it looked so good on him. And I am so proud of that thing. And well, and most of us know, I look at the comments when I'm talking to you guys. Most of us know, um, our family members are tired. They don't want anything else. They've got every hat, scarf, mitten. I'm done.
Yeah,
No more, no more, grandma. No more.
yeah.
So when somebody asks you and he goes, Grandma,
Mm,
can you make a sweater? And I'm like, I never have, but we will. We'll figure it out. And
yeah.
I found a bag a day pattern and just followed that. I followed that video, watched it a
Mm.
thousand times, and it turned out perfectly,
Oh,
absolutely perfectly. I'm
good.
so proud of as my first sweater, and because of that, I've had a couple other people ask me to make things, and I'm like, oh, okay. But, and I
Yeah.
know there's a mistake in it. There's a great big mistake in it, and every time I looked at that sweater, and Mister, I would show him. I go, does this look okay? And he goes, there's something kind of weird in that. I'm like, stop it. But he sees me pointing out the mistakes all the time. And his
Yeah.
mother taught crochet, so
Mm.
he kind of knows what to look for.
Oh, darn it.
Most people, I know, I can't get anything by him. But when I sent it to my grandson, I'm like, "There's a mistake." He goes, "It's perfect. It's perfect. I don't see
Yeah.
any mistakes. It's perfect." So I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
good, 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 good."
My kids won't wear anything I make.
Right? My
Yeah.
kids don't, but the grands will. And I
Yeah.
think it's because I haven't overloaded them with stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of thing I do is blankets. When I'm
Mhm.
giving people gifts, it's almost always a blanket. And
Right.
last year, my daughter is extremely private, so I'm not allowed to say their names. We can't show pictures.
Right.
No pictures of the kids on the internet, on Facebook, any of that stuff. And
Right.
so I made this gorgeous blanket that I can't show anybody
Oh, no.
because I made these little squares and I made them out of Tunisian crochet, which I've decided I hate because of this project. And I made like 250 squares, and most of them were a single color. And then I did all of their names. So I did the family name, and then
Oh,
each one,
wow.
the kids and the moms and the dad. And I put it together like it was a crossword puzzle, like it
Oh, wow.
all intersected. And it was gorgeous. And then, of course, each square I had to do a color around it. And then crochet them all together. I didn't think I was going to finish that thing. I worked on it all year, but I got her done and they love it. But I can't show anybody this
Yeah.
fabulous project that I made because it's got their first names and last names and everything.
Oh,
And it really turned out great, but probably never, ever, ever again will I do that. I don't like sewing squares together and I don't like Tunisian. So
yeah. I tried Tunisian. I bought all the nice hooks and everything. I'm an all or nothing kind of person.
yeah.
Right.
And my
I just
friend,
like,
that's all
if
she
I'm
does.
going to do it, yeah, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And I bought all the hooks and everything.
Mhm.
Everybody told me, don't buy an expensive set of hooks. And I was just like, no, I'm going to do this. And I tried, but because I'm a pencil holder,
Mhm.
not a knife holder, I couldn't figure out how to hold the Tunisian hook.
Oh,
And
they're
so,
very long. Yeah, it's more, you
yeah,
hold it more like a knitting needle.
I bought the short ones. I bought, and I still could not figure it out. And I had some of my Yarnabees. They said, you know, I'm a pencil holder and I'm doing it, and it's like I just can't figure it out.
Hmm.
So I sent all my hooks to someone else.
Mm. Yeah, I bought one beautiful one from Furls, and I've never used it. Um, and I gave my friend that showed me how to do the Tunisian. It's so funny because she says, "What's Tunisian?" I go, "That's what you do all the time. That's all you do." Well, she just calls it the blanket stitch.
Oh,
And since Tunisian has made such a big comeback lately, now
mhm.
people know that's what it is. So she's doing the basic Tunisian, and everything she makes, she uses one hook, one size, and
Wow.
makes blankets all the time. All the time.
Oh,
All she
wow.
does. And she loves it. But I think part of it's because I crochet really tight. And
Mhm.
so everything is just, it's so tight. And of course, the ends all curl up. And
Yeah. That's
I,
weird that because I'm a loose, not loose, but I'm a fairly loose crocheter.
mhm.
And but with the Tunisian, I found that I was doing this and I was like,
Right.
you know,
And it's
and
not relaxing. And
oh no.
yeah, that's how I knit. The other day when I was in my knitting class, the teacher had to unknit something. Tink, she calls it tinking, the opposite of knit. And she had to tink something, and then she's like, "How can you even work in this? The stitches are so tight." And I said,
Oh,
"Oh, it's way looser than it used to be."
oh wow.
That
Yeah.
is so funny.
Yeah. I think that's another reason why when I washed my sweaters that they have that relax so
Hmm.
much because I am a fairly loose knitter. Like a crocheter. Ooh, sorry, Madonna. um, I yeah, because I like to be able to relax when I'm
Hmm.
crocheting, right?
Hmm.
So my stitches are more relaxed. Um, Sometimes they're too relaxed, so I have to go down a hook
Hmm.
size,
Yeah,
but for the most part, it works out okay.
I
And
usually have to go up
once it's out of
two,
my
if not
hands,
three. Yeah, two, if
you
not
know,
three hook sizes. Oh
yeah.
no, Dana just had a big inspection. Did you put your cup in the cup holder? Did I miss a cup holder party, Dana? Um, yeah, I crochet in order to make gauge, I have to go
Mhm.
up two, if not three hook sizes almost every time. And
I don't do gauge.
I don't do gauge either unless I'm making a wearable like that sweater. I was very concerned about gauge on that sweater.
Yeah.
And if I'm working a kit, so like I bought this kit to knit what is this? They call this a serape. It is so pretty. I was showing this off last night. Somebody had asked, "What's that brown yarn up there?" I'm like, "Brown yarn," and
Oh,
it's this beautiful
oh, my favorite
wine
color.
colored. I'm
Oh,
looking to see what it looks like on the screen, and yeah, that is a good. It's a beautiful wine color, and it's to make this serape is what they're calling it. Isn't that
oh,
pretty?
wow.
It's knit.
Oh,
So we'll see.
close your ears, Madonna.
So I take. Oh, that's Miss Madonna Ballard. Hello there.
Yes.
So she's a big knitter.
No, no, don't say that
No?
word to her.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
She gets feisty.
Sorry, Madonna. My dog. My dog. I have the silliest dog ever. He goes out the dog door, and then when he wants to come back in, he stands outside the dog door and barks till we move
He
the
can't
plant
figure out the
to
dog
let
door.
him back in. He'll stand out there for 15 minutes and bark. He
Oh,
just
no.
went out the dog door. Part of the problem is the light's not on. He has his vision is terrible. Let me go
Oh.
turn the light on so the dog can manage to come back in the dog door.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask you, do you have that sweater that you just finished? People were talking about a sweater that you just finished and how gorgeous it is.
I didn't finish the sweater yet. I'm working on a sweater for my collab that I'm doing with Heather the Crochet Witch.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I'm still working on it.
Let's see your beautiful sweater.
I'm doing the back panel right now, which is just basically double crochet in the back loop. So, but this is, oops, where are we?
Wow. That's beautiful. Oh, here they all come.
Nope. It's almost like it almost looks like a crocodile stitch, but it's not. Yeah.
So now is that two different yarns you're holding?
Yeah.
Oh, I see it now. I see it better over here.
This is, oops. This is, ooh, where am I here? There we go.
That is stunning.
This is Red Heart Super Saver. Don't like Super Saver, but I'm using it. But it's a camo color.
Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. And then this one is, do I have it here? Yes, I do. Oop. Red Heart Super Saver brushed.
I have heard of the brush. I can't find it anywhere.
It's only in Canada at Walmart. Apparently.
Because I've not seen it down here. That's
like
beautiful.
a fluffy.
It's got a halo.
Yeah.
Does it
pill?
Well, now I've got Tink in my mind now from unknitting.
Oh, to frog it?
Thank you.
You have to work gently.
Work at it. Okay.
Yeah. But as nice as this looks, it was hard for me. It was
hard.
It's a bag a day pattern.
Oh.
I have it. If you go to my movie marquee videos in my playlist, I have the link for it in my description box. The name of it escapes me. I can't remember. But anyways.
We'll all go in there and look and find it.
Yeah. It wasn't that long ago that she did this, I don't think. But it's it's almost like a dragon kind of stitch.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a dragon scale.
Yeah. So this is like the one talking about gauge and size. Oh. Yeah. Originally, it was going to be this way, and this was going to be the back panel.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Until I realized how much I didn't like doing this. Oh. So I talked to my yarn bees, and I says, "Well, which way do you think it looks better?" Everybody said this way. So I started making this as a side panel. Well, this side panel is now very wide. So I had to make I'm making the back panel really wide. So this is probably going to be a 3/4X sweater. Okay. Nice. So it was going to be a bomber kind of sweater for the movie was Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, Full Metal Jacket. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I know Top Gun was just released again.
Yeah, I haven't seen that
second one. I haven't either. I don't even know if it's still, you know how it is with the theaters. It's the movie of the year for 2 weeks. And then it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, the movie was Full Metal Jacket. And so I figured that this was the perfect yarn for it. And it's going to be kind of like a bomber. I'm thinking of maybe doing like the bottom, doing a front post, back post kind of thing. So it kind of cinches it in a little bit. and I'm still working out all the kinks and everything. But the 2 panels that were giving me as much problem as they were, it was just taking a long time.
Yeah.
Because the stitch pattern is like a double crochet, and then you do a double crochet around the front loop and a treble crochet around that same front loop, and then a double or triple double, I don't know, 3 times around your book. And it was like, oh. so you're kind of working on an angle.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, oh, it looks gorgeous.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Holy cow, it was a lot of work.
And I bet it uses a lot of yarn too.
Yeah,
it's
it's a bit of a yarn eater
with those triples.
But it's going to be nice when it's done.
Mm-hmm. So is that for someone, or is that going to be in your sale pile?
I'll probably sell it.
See, now that's okay. So here's the problem. Now it's taking you longer than normal to do this. Mm-hmm. You hate the process. It uses a lot of yarn. How are you going to be able to price that out?
By the time I'm finished, I'm going to want it to be out of my line of sight. So I'll probably sell it for.
That's true.
You know,
I loved it. How much would you ask for it?
See, everybody says my prices are so low, mm-hmm. right? So I usually gauge it by if the sweater is hip length or above, mm-hmm. I do it for around between $60 and $80 Canadian.
Okay.
Anything cardigan level,
mm-hmm.
I do for 80 to 90 Canadian, right? I don't, I did one poncho once. It was a big cowl kind of neck on mm-hmm. it. And it was a big, heavy poncho. And I think I did the front square on it had a floral or something, like a 3D floral or something. I sold that for $100. And for me, that was like, oh, that's so much money. Nobody's going to want to buy it. And I had a lady come in and she had broken her neck.
Oh.
And so she had pins and stuff in her neck. And so her neck was always cold. And mm-hmm. she said, I want that. And I said, well, it's $100. And she says, I don't care. I want it. And she said, because it will keep her neck warm. Mm-hmm. She was desperate to try and find something that was going to help keep her neck warm. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. George is like, just give her the poncho.
Yeah. Here, let me wrap this up for you.
I would have talked myself out of a sale.
Right? Or said, let's do 80. I'll give it to you for 80.
Like I'm bad. That's why he does all the selling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we don't value ourselves enough, even when we know. And I have seen things where it'll say, take the price of your yarn and triple it. Well, that's fine if you're using, I don't know, a nice yarn that costs, $10, $12, $15 a skein. That's not fine when you're making amigurumi, where you're using, half an ounce of yarn, but it took you 3 days to maneuver this little thing.
Yeah.
So it's tricky. And some of it is what the market will bear. And somebody on here a little bit ago was saying that the craft shows, then now they got to have sales tax, you got to have insurance, and you got to have this, and you got to have all these fees to where, you have to get into the price of your product.
We don't have that here.
Yeah, I think that I just saw it in a comment a bit ago. I think she was saying she was in New York, and they just have all these expenses that have been added on.
Wow.
Let me see if I can. Cup holders under renovation.
Yeah, it's hard because usually I would go around to all the tables and I would see what everybody else is pricing their stuff at. Mm-hmm. But there's not a lot of people that are selling adult clothing in crochet.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. She said, me so crazy. She said they have to charge sales tax, city, county, and state tax, a business tax, booth insurance, even for a little tiny local craft fair.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
How does anybody sell anything?
I'm surprised. Well, and they probably do. They probably build it into the booth rent. Because I know here, I've done a few things where the booth rent was like $30 for the weekend. That's for a little tiny church one. But some
Mhm.
of our big ones, it can be $600-800 for a weekend.
Yeah, ours is around 500.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a 4-day or
So
3.5, I guess it is.
and we've got a we just looked into, there's a local farmers market, and I went and checked it out, and it's in a very nice area. It's in a park. It's a real pretty setup, lots of trees, so it's nice and shady. And there was only maybe 20 booths. They were spread out nicely. And it was $350 for the summer, but you had to be there every Wednesday night from
Mhm.
4 to 8
Yeah,
and set up and tear down
yeah,
and all your stuff. And they were very picky about what you could have. Could only be handmade items.
yeah,
um, Nothing that you couldn't like buy something and resell.
yeah.
And so they wouldn't even let me sell my yarn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, I can't make enough of anything to support all every week, being there every week.
Yeah.
And so I was going to
And
share.
how about that? I guess if you're dyeing your own yarn and stuff,
Mhm.
that,
Yeah. So
even
they
if you
were
were,
extremely picky.
I wonder if you were weaving your yarn, if that would be
Maybe.
considered
Yeah, maybe.
like,
But
wow, that's hard.
and there were some beautiful things there. There was a lady who sewed stuff, and she had 6 or 8 different things.
Mhm.
And yeah, but there was a lot of cookie booths and cupcake booths
Oh,
and things like that. Vegetables, which were really nice. Um,
I last year they had a fudge booth.
mm,
Oh,
yeah, I love
I
the
ended
booths.
up spending $50 on fudge.
Hmm.
I came back and George is like, "What the heck are you doing?" I says, "I got a maple fudge for you." And he's like, "Oh,
I got
okay."
this for you, honey. I've used that line a few times. But I got this for you.
Yeah.
He doesn't like anything with chewy stuff in it or nuts in it or like pretzels or bits of
Yeah.
candy. He's like a vanilla ice cream kind of guy. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
I need chunks and bits and chocolate and caramel and swirlies. And
Yep.
so he knows I didn't get it for him. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. And then booth rent on top of all those fees and taxes. That's
Ugh,
ridiculous. Hey, Jet, how are you doing? Thanks for popping in.
wow.
Yeah, it's it's a tough gig. Doing
It
those
is.
craft shows is a tough gig.
It
And
is.
and then you get the people that are coming around taking pictures of your stuff so they can steal your ideas.
Oh,
I love
I
that.
get the husbands that come around and go, "I'd like to buy this for my wife. Can I just take a picture and send it to her?" I'm like, well, but like they actually stand in front of me and they're
Mhm,
texting and they're going, "Okay, do you think this color or this color?" That it's okay.
mhm.
But yeah.
I
Or you
had
get
one
the ones
lady.
that walk by that say, "Oh, I could buy
I
that
could do
cheaper
that.
in the store,"
Yeah,
or "I
yeah,
can make that,"
I
you
could
know.
make that. And sure, I could make everything I see. Am I going to? No.
Yeah,
Is it going to look as
exactly.
good? Absolutely not, because I don't
Yeah.
have the ability or the patience to do a good job.
Yeah.
Mister, he's so funny. He loves to shovel snow, not shovel, but he's
Mhm.
got his little ATV out there, and he like in the scoop, and he likes to push snow around. It's something he enjoys doing. And the neighbors will go, "Oh, can I hire you to do?" And he's like, "No, because if you hire me, I have to do a good job. If I'm just having fun playing in the snow, I could quit when I want, and if I don't
Yeah.
feel like doing it, I don't do it." Hey, hey, that's not for you. That's not for you, Max. I
That's
know you
funny.
think it is. So yeah, so you feel like you have to do a good job. Well, and the other thing is people don't get supplies. They don't understand
Mm.
how much it
Yeah.
costs for supplies. And there have been some things that I've wanted to make, and I'm like, I can't source the supply for it. And I
Yeah.
always feel bad and even with my guests, I'll go, oh, that's really pretty. Where do you get
Mhm.
your charms? Where do you get your findings? Because I feel like, well, no, they're selling these things. They're not going to tell me where they get their
Yeah,
supplies.
everything's so secretive.
It is. It's a secret.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can tell me afterwards.
Yeah.
I was just noticing behind you to your left is the yarn ball.
Oh, here?
There. Yes, there.
Yep.
Did that come from
Jeanette?
Grammy?
Jeanette.
Not
No,
Jeanette.
wrong. Lynette.
Lynette.
Lynette
Yeah.
from Charm Grammy. Yes.
Yes. I won one of those in a giveaway
Oh,
she did. And I haven't been able, well, when we were in the motorhome, I couldn't hang it. But now that I'm here, it just reminded me, oh, I can hang that now. I've got a
mhm.
place to hang things like that. She
Yep.
used to sell them. I don't think she does anymore, right?
I don't think she did sell them. I
Oh,
think that
oh,
she did them as giveaways and
okay.
gifts.
Yeah, because I
'Cause
know she
I
made them.
won mine
Yeah,
in
I won mine as well.
yeah. So I don't think she ever sold them again. She
Mm-hmm.
figured that they weren't good enough and
Mm-hmm.
she didn't want to
And they're
sell them.
darling.
I
I
told
know
her,
a
I
lot of
says,
people
they
would
will
love them.
sell like
Oh, you
wildfire.
won't be able to keep up with the
No,
orders.
no.
They're absolutely wonderful.
But like you were just saying,
Especially.
then
Mhm.
it's not fun anymore. It becomes a
Yes,
business,
yes. And
right?
people want this color, and the color isn't what they expected. And can you make it a little bigger? Can you make it a little smaller?
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
I adore it because it's a crochet hook. So many doodads like that are knitting needles.
Uh, yeah.
Gifts and prizes. Yep, she said it would be work if she had to sell them. You're exactly right, Sandy. You are exactly right.
Yeah.
And then you get a big order and there's a problem with your supply, or for some reason the product doesn't work. You've done it 1,000 times and this time it
Yeah.
doesn't turn out, and then you miss your
Yeah.
deadline. Yeah, then it's stressful and it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
I get that
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, so I'm blessed to have received one. As I think, if I remember correctly, she was saying it was her last one, or maybe she had one more after that one and then they were gone. um yeah. So
Yeah.
I was very, very lucky to get that from her.
Mhm.
I won her. It was so funny because I think it was her 3,000 subscriber giveaway, or maybe it was 4,000. I think it was her 3,000 subscriber giveaway. I can't remember now. Um, and that week, this is so funny because everybody talks about how hard it is to win things on YouTube, and
Mhm.
I personally have decided, except for maybe once in a blue moon, um, I have decided not to enter contests anymore
Mhm.
for two reasons. I am blessed with yarn. I've got a lot of yarn and I adore my yarn, but there are people out here who kind of rely on those things to get
Yeah.
some yarn. And so I've decided to let other people win those things instead of
Yeah.
me. And I can't keep up with, you've got 7 days. And I get that. You have to on this side of it. I understand it. You've got to
Yeah.
end those things in a certain amount of time. And I can't keep up with that. And so
Yeah.
I've made it a point to not, even though I want to enter everything I see, I've
Yeah.
made it a point not to enter those things anymore. I'll comment on their video. So, they
Mhm.
get the interaction and I say good luck to everybody else. But
Yeah.
there was a point to this story. So that week, I had entered several things and I won on 3 different channels.
Oh, wow.
Second winner. They had pulled and the person hadn't contacted them, so they pulled a second one. And I was the second place, the second pull winner on all 3 of them.
Oh,
And
wow.
so yeah, so I was so lucky, and because of that, I connected with some 2 of the people that I went from. Her Lynette is one of them,
Mhm.
and I connected with some people and feel like I made a very good friend because of that. And
Mhm.
she was so sweet to me. She was the first one that I won, and I contacted her, and we needed to have a conversation because of one of her gifts. And so we had a phone call and we chatted for almost 2 hours. I did not realize how starved I was for female conversation and crafty conversation. But that's when we had first landed in the desert in Texas, and it was me and Mr. 24/7.
Yeah.
I needed to talk to a woman. And
Mm-hmm.
um, there was, because in the oil fields, there's I
Oh,
think I
yeah.
saw two girls, two women the whole time we were there. And so yeah, so I made a fast friend with Lynette from that. So as soon as
She's
I
a
saw that, it
sweetheart.
reminded me, she's a doll. She's so
Yeah.
sweet. Everybody on here is so sweet. And I'll be talking to somebody and I'm go, oh, I have a friend. She's like, you've got one of your YouTube friends? Yes, my YouTube friends. People I actually talk to every day. The people that I
Yeah.
actually interact with on a regular basis.
That's what George and I talk about all the time. It's like we, it's kind of sad, but we don't actually have friends,
Mhm.
right? Like we don't socialize. We don't, George used to socialize all the time. But then, over time, you just kind of friends drop off and
Mhm.
stuff like that. I've
Mhm.
been really hurt by friends in the
Mhm.
past. So I'm very standoffish and I'm very, um, I almost antisocial,
Mhm.
and so he says, you've got lots of friends. What are you talking about? I said, I mean, physical friends, right?
Mhm.
Like, and he's going, you got like all your YouTube friends, like Sandy from left is right. So she's your bestie, And I says, she is my bestie, but I've never met her,
Mhm.
right? Have we, Sandy? We've never met, but we talk we have our coffee time
Mhm.
on video chat and stuff
Yeah.
every few days and check in with each other all the time. And
Mhm.
and we act like we're the besties,
Mhm.
right? And but to have a physical person here,
Mhm.
I don't have that,
Yeah.
right?
So
So
I can bring you soup when you're sick.
yeah, but I mean, if Sandy and I lived close to each other, there'd
Right.
be, oh, we'd raise hell.
Yeah.
It would be
Mhm.
craziness,
Yeah.
But there are a certain amount of YouTubers, like I can count on my hand
Mhm.
how many that I keep in contact with all the
Mhm.
time to make sure that they're okay.
Right.
And, but like all my Yarnabies, like
Mhm.
it's amazing when you're feeling down or you're, there's something happening in your life or whatever,
Mhm.
it comes across on camera for the most
Right.
part.
Right.
And they pick up on it right
Mhm.
away. And then you're getting the emails and the text messages
Yeah.
and the comments and saying, are you okay? Or, if you ever need to talk. And
Yeah.
I wasn't used to that. I was just like,
Mhm.
oh, like, wow. So I know, like, if I need to talk something out, I can do it on camera.
Mhm.
And my Yarnabies are there.
Right.
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 And it's an awesome feeling,
Mhm. Well, and it's like we were saying before, there's a handful of people on here. I mean, Dana, anything I need, she's going to be there for me. And Amber from Foster and Crochet, she and I
Mhm.
talk not every day, but about once a week. And she's somebody I can pick up the phone and call, and we'll chat for an hour.
Yeah.
And Miss Crystal, no matter what kind of problem I'm having with this YouTube, even if we can't figure it out together, we're going to work on it together. And we
Yeah.
talk about chickens, and we talk about ducks, and we talk about yarn, and oh my gosh, don't kill me. Oh my head, my brain. Secret Yarnery. I can see your yarn and your name is gone. Um,
Oh,
it's not
whoops.
Amber. Angela. And
The
there's
precious
so,
yarnery. Yeah.
yeah. There's so many people that if I need help with somebody, I've got
Hmm.
somebody I can reach out to. I don't have anything like that here. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying I don't have friends. I do have friends here. And if I needed help with somebody, they would help me. But they can't help me with any of this stuff. They don't care about my yarn. They don't want to hear about my newest project.
Yeah.
I have a friend who is she's very talented with sewing and quilting and that kind of stuff. And she's
Hmm.
so funny. She's one of those people that don't have a filter, and whatever pops into her head.
Yeah.
When my late husband and I were getting married, she adored him. She adored him. And she was like, I'm so glad that you're marrying him. She goes, but I don't know what he sees in you.
Ah,
That's the kind of
wow.
filter. That's the kind of filter she has. So last Christmas, I gave one of our friends a gift that I had made, and it was just a shawl. It was a very pretty shawl, turned out nice. And she's like, I knew you crocheted, but I didn't know you were any good. So not
Oh
the kind of person
my
I'm going to go to when
God.
I
Wow.
need my spiritual.
Ouch. Uh,
So she's something
oh,
else. She is something else. Yeah, we
oh
adore her, but
man.
no
I
filter
had
whatsoever.
I had a friend that was here. Um, I actually met her through crochet.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Way back in the day, I was trying to start a crochet group here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I met a couple of people that came to my house and we would talk crochet and all that kind of stuff. Because they have knitting circles, but they
Mm-hmm.
don't have anything for crochet.
Mm-hmm.
So she has ADD and man, she can pick something out like that, you
Mm.
know. And I was so proud of this. What the heck did I make? It was a sweater. It wasn't a sweater. It was something else. It's different wearable. And I was so proud of it. And I'm like, look at what I did. She goes, oh, wow, that's really pretty. But right there, there's a
Oh,
mistake. And I'm like, what? I look at it and I'm like, oh, man. It's like, now I'm never going to see that sweater the same
yeah.
way.
That's
Like,
all you
thanks
can
a
see. Go
lot.
right to the mistake.
But she
Every
saw
time,
it like right away. It was,
instantly.
she says it was like glaring at her. And I was like,
Mm.
oh, thanks.
Yeah,
I
it's
hate that.
amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's one thing for me to see it and have it glaring
Mm-hmm.
at me, but for
Mm-hmm.
someone else, I was just like, oh, okay, toss it. And then George is like, no, what are you doing? The normal person wouldn't notice that. And
Yeah,
I says,
yeah,
hey, if she can tell right off the bat, then no,
yeah.
it's not.
Mister, his eye goes to those things too. Even not, he won't even know what exactly it is, that pattern style or anything. And he'll go, there's something funny right here. Quit looking at my things. Go away. This isn't for you. Nobody else is going to notice. If I'm making something for someone else and I find an error, I rip it. If it's
Oh,
for
yeah.
me, or if it's just going to be like a blanket to be tossed around here,
Mm-hmm.
it gets built in. It's
Yeah.
part of the love.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Part of the love.
Part of the love.
Jeez.
So, what's your favorite fiber to work with, or do you have one?
Um, Acrylic is my main. I can't use anything wool. I can't
Oh,
use alpaca anymore.
hmm.
I've got bad allergies to it. I'm starting to find a love for cotton,
Oh, I like the cotton. I love the cotton blends,
but not,
cotton
not
linen.
kitchen cotton. I can't deal with kitchen cotton.
You know what? And I know what you're saying. This was one of my giveaway prizes last night in my bingo game. Here, I'm going to promote my bingo game. Monday night at 5 o'clock Pacific, we have bingo every week. We have prizes, and this was one of my prizes last night. Not huge prizes. We have little prizes because we do 3 games a week. So this was from Hobby Lobby, and
Ooh,
I loved the color. It was like I love the multicolors, but the bright ones, they hurt my brain. So the
yeah.
soft multicolor, but for a kitchen cotton, I was
Mhm.
really surprised at how soft it was because I've used the peaches and cream and what's the other one? There's two of them. They have a very similar name, but one of them, it was so rough it hurt my hands to work with
Mhm.
it. But this is really soft. Poor thing. I'm gonna have to give her something different because I have mangled this. I can't believe how soft this is.
Is that
I just,
Crafter's Secret?
yeah, Crafter Secret from Hobby Lobby. Where's the thing? There you go.
Oh, okay.
And I am just shocked. Yeah, I will. If you're watching, I will totally get you a different skein because obviously I can't send this to you as a prize. I have just mangled this thing. But I mean, it is so. I mean, and it's kitchen cotton, but it's almost scarfable. I'll tell you that.
Mhm.
I am shocked at how soft this is. for a cotton. I
Unfortunately, we don't have Hobby Lobby in Canada, but I've heard that the Hobby Lobby cotton, I love this cotton. It's really nice too.
It's wonderful. And that's something, it's funny because I'm never been a huge Hobby Lobby fan. And part of it's because I didn't have one around. We only just
Mm.
got Hobby Lobby here a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
Um,
lucky you.
but what did I say? Did I say weeks? I meant years, a couple of
Oh,
years ago. And then I was traveling. So I really haven't spent a lot of time in Hobby Lobby. So this year, when they had their huge sale, it's the first time I hit the Hobby Lobby sale. But so I mean, I've picked up stuff once in a while, but
mhm.
not a great deal. But when I hit the big sale this year, I'm like getting bits of different kinds of yarn that I've never touched before, and this just amazes me at how soft it is. I will give you a different price. I promise this is not going to show up in your mailbox as a price. But yeah. So
Yeah.
possibly that's a kitchen cotton that you might be able to work with. That is fun because like I like to make dish towels as well.
Mhm.
And the first time I made a dish towel, I had grabbed some of that yarn, and because I kept thinking dishcloth yarn isn't really nice enough for a dish towel because that's a different
Yeah.
product, and you're wiping your hands with it
Mhm.
and you're just doing more with it. And thank you, Denise. um, and so when I saw this and it was just a little softer, it's much better for a dish towel.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
made a
I don't.
bikini?
A
Christy's Creation
bikini.
says she made a
Holy,
bikini with you. I love this cotton. That's funny.
wow.
That's funny.
You know what? I never found a need for cotton before because I didn't make dishcloths and stuff.
Mhm,
I've always made like bigger projects. So,
mhm.
um, yeah, I never needed to. But then I started hearing people saying, well, what making summer wearables and stuff like
Mhm,
that use cotton. And I
mhm.
was like, well, I don't really make summer stuff.
Right.
So this year I started making summer wearables. And of course I don't have anything around me. Um, but like I'm working on a tutorial right now, uh, using the new Momenti, but
Mm.
I also made it in cotton, which, oh, I don't have any. There's different types of cotton that I've been
Oh, yeah.
using. Some from Hirschner's, one's called denim.
Mhm.
Um,
I love that.
and what's the other one? I tried using coastal cotton, which there isn't coastal cotton anymore,
I haven't
but I
heard of that.
had some in my stash. Um, and what else did I use? I don't even remember. But I've made 3 so far,
Mhm.
and I'm still waiting for Hirschner's to give me my Momenti. I ran out of a Momenti. I needed one more
Oh.
um, cake, and it's taken them like 3 weeks, and I
Mm.
still haven't got it. I'm so upset. I've called them twice because I want to get this tutorial
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah.
Mm.
So I'm
I've
sad.
heard I've heard the Momenti is really, really great yarn, and it's fun. It's good to work with. I haven't purchased any of it yet. So I'm getting better about not buying everything that I see and hear about.
Yeah.
I don't, and
It
and
took
I
me a long time to get the Momenti.
yeah.
You know what? I wanted it like right away, but I was not willing to pay the price.
Mhm.
So I was waiting for it to come down, and it did come
Yeah.
down a little bit, enough for me to be actually able to stomach paying
Mhm.
that. But I like the Momenti, but I don't know. There's something in it that's kind of not feeling as wonderful as I was hoping it was going to.
Mm.
Like once you start working with it, I don't
Right.
know. You know how with cotton and stuff, it will kind of sometimes stick between your fingers,
Yes.
and drag.
Mhm. Mhm.
It kind of got a little bit of that for me. But I mean, it's beautiful yarn. It is
Mm,
beautiful yarn, but I just don't like some yarns that have to like really pull and try
yeah,
and
yeah,
work with. I don't
yeah,
want to fight with my yarn. I
right.
want to be
That's
friends
what
with my
this
yarn.
is. This yarn, I got to yank on it really hard to get it out of the skein. And it
Yeah.
might just be because it's still, I haven't used much of it. But this is, and I guess this is a yarn that typically you can only get in Canada, Red Heart
Oh,
Comfort.
comfort. Yeah.
I've not seen it down here. I
I
have no idea where now
I
that I
hate
think
that.
about it, I
That
wonder if I got this. What's that yarn company in Canada that they have the tent sale every year?
oh not
You,
Cambridge. Um
you know,
oh wow. My brain.
hmm you guys know what I'm talking about. They have that tent sale and they have the
Yeah.
mega ball.
Mm-hmm.
I bet I got this from them because I got several of them. I've got like 5 or 6 of these things and they're ginormous. This
Mm-hmm.
thing is 12 ounces, I think. Yeah, it's 12 ounces, 612 yards,
Spin
500
rate. That's it.
spin right.
Right.
Yes, spin right. I've gotten some really good things from them, and I've not used this before. I'm not in love with it. I don't hate it. It reminds me of the Red Heart that you were talking about, the old Super Saver, the
Mm-hmm.
old Super Saver before they reworked it and made it soft. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what this reminds me of. And I'm hoping that this is going to soften up after I wash it. But
Yeah.
that's why I'm making this cocoon sweater. I'm like, okay, doesn't matter if it's soft. I'm always going to have long sleeves on when I wear it. So it'll be fine for that. And
Well,
it'll also be fine for a blanket.
this thing that I was making, it
Mhm.
was a toss up between the Red Heart Super Saver or that Comfort
Mm.
yarn because they both had camo. And I was like,
Oh,
oh, geez, which is
yeah.
the lesser of the evil here?
Mhm.
So I picked Super Saver
Mhm. Yeah,
because
and it does soften up after you wash it. I know a lot of people
that's what
don't
I
like
keep
it,
hearing.
and
I keep,
they don't like working with it. But even with that, I have grabbed some stuff that I've had in a stash for years and
mm,
compared it to the new stuff, and it's night and day. It is night and day.
yeah,
That's exactly what this reminds me of is the old
yeah,
Super Saver before it got nicer. So you've worked with the Comfort before?
yeah. I actually think I have some down here somewhere.
Does it get nicer
I
when you wash it?
a little bit.
A little bit, but not much. Don't count on it.
It's
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it also depends if you're using a fabric softener and stuff like that,
Mhm.
right?
Oh, and I've got some of that soak too. That'll make
Hmm.
it a little bit nicer too.
Yeah.
I do have some. I got some of those mega balls. I got this beautiful pattern, and I'm not going to be able to remember her name. And I feel bad because I got it off of the Etsy, and every now and again I'll get a little coupon and say, come look at my new stuff, and I'm like, I only like the one pattern that you did. I don't like any of the other things, but I
Yeah.
love this one pattern. And it's a blanket and it's a silhouette of trees against a sky. And it's just simple. And so I thought, oh, and it's huge. It's going to take a ton of yarn. So when I saw those mega balls, I'm like, oh, perfect. I got a
Yeah.
dark evergreen kind of color.
Ooh,
And,
wow.
and did I get a pale blue or like a lilac? I think I did a lilac. So in my mind, that was sort of a sunsetty color
Right.
and it's the two colors and it's a blanket. And I thought, oh, the mega balls. It's literally 2 balls of each and it's done. And
Wow.
so, yeah, in theory, if I ever do it. Um,
I have a lot of projects that are in theory.
mhm. And on the same vein from somebody different, I got a pattern and it's a pillow and the silhouette of the trees are in black and then the top it's a sunset and she used I just saw an ad for that yarn. Anyway, the yarn itself makes the sunset, and I'm like, oh,
Oh,
that is so
wow.
cool. Well, of course, the exact yarns to use you can't get anymore. So I found something that I think is going to work. My
Hmm.
only hope is that the color changes are, not like 20 stitches of this color and 30 stitches of that color.
Hmm.
I want the color changes more often. Usually I
Right.
want them less often, but this time I want them more often. Dang it,
Right.
landscape? That doesn't sound right. But something with just a lot of pretty changing of colors
Right.
for that background to make that sunset. I like trees apparently. I'm always buying patterns of trees. But
It's funny. It's hard when you have your heart set on a yarn and then it doesn't work out.
mhm.
You know, like I just bought. I just showed this on my channel. I was so excited, but I found this at a dollar.
Ooh, see, that's the
store.
kind of color changes I'm looking for.
Oops. Yeah. See,
Yeah, just like
I
that.
found it. Yeah, I found it at a dollar plus, and I was so excited. And I bought $70 worth of it. I mean, it's only like $2.50 a ball.
Uh-huh.
And so I found a few colors in it, and I thought,
Mm,
oh, this will be a great baby blanket, and I'll, I'll
yeah.
have a sweater and all this stuff. I started working with it, and I was going, oh no. It's like you can really feel the plasticky acrylic in it.
Mhm.
I'm devastated. So I started, I thought, what can I do with this? Like, obviously, I can't make a baby something or anything
Mhm.
like that. So I started making, whoops, purse.
Oh,
I've got
a
got
purse.
the bottom of it.
Oh,
So, yeah.
nice.
So I started making a purse with it. And I mean, it's only at the beginning stages right
Mhm.
now, but I think it's going to work out
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's
Because it's
beautiful.
got that,
A little
uh,
bit of strength.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, because you feel it and you go, oh, yeah, okay, that'll
Mhm.
work, right? But if I put that in a sweater or something, then I'm just like, no, I
Mhm.
can't do that,
Mhm.
right? Oops, I dropped my hook. I just got, oops, sorry. I just bought a um, new furls hook. I don't want to step on it.
No,
Yeah,
don't make your hook. Ooh, I haven't seen that one yet. Or maybe I did
yeah.
and I just went, nope, 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 nothing to see here. Move along.
They put the sparkles in the pride hook as well,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that's my new baby.
So
So,
pretty.
yeah,
So
I'm thinking that they're probably going to have a sparkle line now.
mhm.
I'm going,
I
oh,
just I just can't. I just can't. So when we came back from Texas, we were working in the oil fields in Texas, and I had quite a bit of disposable income when I was down here. And everything that I ordered, I was having shipped here, so it didn't exist.
oh yeah,
I didn't own it. And I
yeah.
got home, I had 70 boxes.
I remember seeing your video about that. I was like, oh, it's like wow, Christmas.
And of course, Mister, I'm like, oh no, hon, these were here from when we moved. Don't you remember?
Oops.
So
Well,
I've
there's
had
not much to do there,
there
so
was nothing to do there, but I was having the yarn sent here. So I didn't, I mean,
yeah,
and there was no place in the motorhome to put yarn unless
yeah.
I, a little bit for a specific project. And we were 100 miles away from a yarn store. So my only option was the local Walmart, which give
Oh,
them props for a local teeny tiny Walmart. They had a halfway decent selection.
oh
But,
wow.
you know, that's when I started using the Red Heart again because that was mostly either that or the Walmart yarn. And
Yeah,
so I have all this yarn here and I'm going through it and I still haven't posted all my videos of unboxings. And so I'll throw some of those up still. But so I've tried to be really, really careful about not buying more yarn
yeah,
and not even looking at the sales and using what I have. And so, and furls is one of those things that it's really easy to put 5 or 6 in your cart. Um,
yeah,
and you know what I've been doing with the furls, and I'm perfectly happy with it, is when they have their mistakes,
yeah.
their seconds,
They're hard to get though, because
they are
once
hard
they
to get.
post them, they're gone.
And God forbid that Bag a Day should mention it.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I've
jeez.
been real lucky the last 2 times. I saw the email instantly and got on there and I was able to get some things. But you know what has happened? So I ended up having to get a new phone and I hate this phone. I hate this phone. I hate this phone. It's a Galaxy, and I'm sure it's a perfectly delightful phone. I can't figure it out. I'm
Is
so
it the S20?
something like that. Yeah.
I've
So
got the same phone. I don't like it either.
I hate it. I'm an iPhone person. So
Oh,
here's the
I'm a
problem that I
Galaxy person, but this one,
oh,
I don't know. They
really?
dropped
So
the
it's not
ball on
just
that.
me. Here's the problem. So the other day, like a week and a half ago, I'm like, I never got an email from so and so. And I'm looking and I'm looking. My emails quit coming through. So I have to go back to my old phone to get my emails. It
Oh,
just
really?
stopped sending my emails. So I'm
That's
using two
weird.
phones to manage my emails and even my YouTube stuff. I can't figure out how to do things on here. So I'm having to now I have to keep track of and manage two phones.
Oh, man. I'm finding that it's weird because I used to have like a microphone with a
Mhm.
cord on it.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to plug it into to the new phones.
Nope.
And I was like, what? So now I have to try and go and get a
A
Bluetooth
Bluetooth and hope
one.
it works.
And I ordered a Bluetooth one on Amazon, but I ended up ordering the iPhone one instead of the Android one. So I had to send that back. And I'm just like, oh, this shouldn't be this hard.
It shouldn't be this hard. And it's like, it took me probably a month to figure out how to hang up a phone call
Oh.
or to answer a phone call because it's got a dot. Why
Mhm.
don't you just push the dot? No, you got to slide. You got to push
Yeah.
and slide the dot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm like a stalker. Every place that I go, if I see somebody using one of these, I go, excuse me, can you show me how to do something on my phone? So that's how I'm learning how to use my stone. It's complete strangers in the grocery store,
Oh,
or we were at like a parade thing downtown the other day, and I saw something. I'm like, can you show me how to do something? How do I
YouTube is
turn
great.
the sound down on my phone so it's not ringing in the middle of my lives?
YouTube is great for that. Like I found a lot of things on, any kind of electronics. You just type it in and
Mhm.
it tells you exactly,
Yeah.
what to do. Like the oh, what is it? Oh, now I can't remember what it is. It always pops up. You hit a certain button and it comes up and it speaks to you.
Oh, yeah. Hey, so if you're a YouTube, or I mean, is there a way on my iPhone, if I'm sending a text message, I can talk and, like when I'm driving, I can just talk and say something real quick. It's going to change, it's going to autocorrect stuff. So it's
Yeah.
a game on the other end for the person to figure out what I've actually said, but I can't figure out how to even do that on this. Is that a thing? Can I do a voice text message?
If you're doing a message to just one person,
Mhm.
yeah, when you're doing your texting,
Yeah.
right beside it there's a microphone.
Okay.
And
I'll have to look for
if
that.
you tap that, it will start to record, and then you tap again and it will send it.
Okay.
You
Okay, I'll
know,
have to try that because what I'll notice is it will just randomly start recording things,
yeah.
and like I'll have the radio playing in the car, and it's putting down everything that it says on the radio. I'm like, no, I don't know what this is. Go away. How did you start? What is this? Yeah, that glitter hook is absolutely stunning. I'm gonna have to not look at that.
Oh, I know. I
Maybe
had
put
to
it
get
on
it
my
right away.
Christmas
That's the
list.
first pearls hook that I've bought in
Oh, really?
a year
Oh,
and a
in a
half.
while. In a while.
Yeah.
Yep. I
So, I
had
mean,
bought
I was just
several
crazy addicted.
I had bought several of, and the names I don't know, but the metal one with the pretty color on the end, and then the metal, they're too heavy
Right.
for me. I was
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
cramps in my shoulders
Yeah.
and like physical therapy. And
Yeah. The
somebody
Odyssey.
on YouTube mentioned that they actually hurt, and I'm like, it couldn't possibly be that causing all this pain. How could a
Yeah.
couple of ounces make all that difference? Well, when you're doing this for 5 hours a day,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
The
so I
Odyssey hooks.
switched,
Yeah. The
and
Odyssey hooks used to be my
yeah,
favorite hook.
yeah,
And I found they started getting too heavy for me. So I switched to the streamlines.
yeah, the
And
streamline.
that's
Mhm.
all I use now.
Yep, same.
Yeah.
So if I'm like, as a for instance, this where I know This is kind of an in-between. Maybe if I'm sitting and talking to somebody, I think this is a great car ride project because it's so simple.
Yeah.
I could use my Odyssey hook on that because I'm not working on it for very long. But even, and I've got several of them. They may end up as giveaways.
Oh,
They may end up as prizes.
Oh.
Speaking of prizes, I'm gonna do another commercial. This is a commercial break for Robin now. Yes, Denise, and I'll tell you why I did it. I'll tell you why. I got suckered into the camera on this thing. Is the only reason I bought this. And because y'all know I did my little cruise up to Alaska a couple of months ago and caught COVID. So spent most of my cruise in my room, locked in my room. I needed a camera. I needed a camera with a good zoom. You cannot buy a camera anymore. They don't sell them. The stores have them in the display, the Target and the Walmart and the what used to be a camera store have them in the displays, but they don't actually have any to sell. And they won't sell the display because they don't know when they're going to get them back. You cannot buy a camera anymore. So I got suckered into buying this thing because it's got an amazing camera. The videoing is easier. That is the one thing I'll say. It's got built-in video and built-in some editing things. And I've done some of my, as a for instance, and you cannot do this on the Apple. It's the only thing that I have found that I like better than the Apple. I can be videoing. I can pause my video and come back. So if a dog comes running in or Mr. starts running water in the kitchen, I can pause that video. You cannot do that on the Apple. And I love that feature, but it's the only thing about that phone that I like better.
I found that I'm still trying to figure out the camera on mine, right? And the video, I'm not too sure if I'm liking it or not. But the actual camera, because I take a lot of pictures of like my jewelry and stuff.
Yeah.
And the focus on it, I'm finding I'm having issues with, but then I just found like, there's a couple of buttons that you can change the closeness.
Yeah.
So if you actually go back further, but hit the closer button, it goes in and it focuses perfectly.
Yeah.
And I'm going, oh, finally.
Finally. A lot of playing around with it. A lot of playing. I do like the bigger screen on it. And the screen is so sharp. The image is incredibly sharp. And I do like that. It's funny because when I had this one, I thought this is a great big screen. And then I got this one and the difference in the screen size is unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable. But so you have all these little things to do, the selfie sticks and the little stands. It doesn't fit in any of them.
Yep.
It's big.
Yep.
And I try to, it fits in my pocket, but then it sticks way out. And I'm always afraid I'm going to drop it out of my pocket. So, there's pros and cons to everything out there. So, but if I can't get that, I got to go back to the phone store today and say, why is my email not working? Because I missed so many emails.
Yeah, I would just go and talk to them. They'll show you.
Yeah.
How to fix it.
Will.
So, but that's weird. I've never had
that. It
is
really weird. And it just stopped. So I have no idea. So what I was going to say, my commercial, I've got a video up and it's I am sneaking up on 4,000 hours of watch time. We mentioned this earlier. So I've got a giveaway video and you guess the date I'm going to hit my 4,000 hours. So nobody knows when this video is going to end. But I'll tell you, I think I'm at 3,600 right now. So between 36 and might even be 37. I might hit 37 this morning. So between, somewhere between there and 4,000. So guess the day. And I'm giving away a knit crate box.
Oh, wow.
This one right here. Knit crate. Here you go. Really pretty.
Nice.
So make sure you go in there and pick the day you think I'm going to hit the 4,000. And then when we do hit 4,000, we're going to have a blowout party. We're going to have a live with lots of guests and lots of giveaways. So, and I'll announce that the day that the day that I do the video for the giveaway, I'll announce the date of the party. It will probably be a weekend, I'm thinking, because I know a couple of my guests can't come on in the daytime. But I know for sure we're going to have Amber on there. I know for sure we're going to have Miss Dana on there. I know for sure we're going to have Crystal on there. And I'm hoping that we get Angela. I haven't had an opportunity to ask her yet. So I'm hoping that we have Angela on there. I hope you'll pop in for a few minutes, Sandy, and say hi, howdy, and just
sounds like a lot of fun.
I think it is. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Don't forget, Monday nights we have bingo every Monday night, 5 o'clock Pacific, and we do have. Oh, wait, does it say? Oh yeah, 5 o'clock Pacific for bingo, and we're having a lot of fun with that. And so I hope you'll have a chance to join us for that. Next Tuesday, as the little banner says, next Tuesday at 8 a.m., we're going to have Kim of Affordable Crafty Kim, and she's a hoot too. So I'm really looking forward to getting to know her. I've not talked to her. The same as with Sandy, I never talked to her before either, and so it's really having a lot of fun interacting and learning more about you. This has just been a great morning. So what do you got coming up?
Oh, what have I got coming up? Let's see. We're about midway through the movie marquee challenge that I'm doing with Heather the Crochet Witch.
Yeah, talk to us about that. I keep seeing it, but I don't quite understand it.
Okay. Basically what it is Heather and I in December, I think it was, we talked and I came up with this idea, and she picked 6 movies and I picked 6 movies, and we put them in. Well, I've got my little hat here. She's got a little cauldron, and every month we switch off and we pick a name or a movie out of the hat, and then we take the colors of the poster for that movie and we make something.
Okay.
Like this was one of the one of the projects I made.
Oh my gosh, you made that?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Look at that handle.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Wow.
So this was for last month's movie. That was Heather's pick, and it was Free Guy. So yeah, so we show the poster on camera, and everybody can take whatever colors they want out of it and they can make a project. Heather's making all blankets. I'm not a blanket person. I can't seem to make a blanket for my life. So I switched it to, instead of the movie marquee blanket challenge, we just went movie marquee challenge. And again, George, being the wonder that he is, came up with the word marquee. I didn't even know what marquee was. But it's the banner, the old style banner from back in the day when you go to the movie theater, and it tells you what the movie is. Yeah. So that's what we're doing, that all year. And so next, at the end of this month, then it's Heather's pick again. So I picked Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, okay. That's where that came from.
Yeah. So, yeah. And the thing is that people don't have to use the movies that we've chosen. They can pick whatever movie they want and then post it on our Facebook groups and show us what they've made, what the movie was. Yeah, we've done Silence of the Lambs. We did Purple Rain. We've done, we've done a few now that have been really kind of cool. So it's always exciting to see what everybody else can come up with. Somebody did an amigurumi. It's just like, craziness. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing with Heather. And then Jeanette from Miss Hootie Hootenan's Crafts, I'm also doing something similar with her every month. We're doing the same thing. I pick one month, she picks the next month. But what it is we come up with either a pattern, a written pattern, or a tutorial. So I just finished doing tutorial for this month, and then next month it's going to be Jeanette's turn. So yeah, so I've got that going on. And then I just finished the Yarnapalooza. So now I can kind of relax a little bit until the next thing. The next thing is going to be my 3-year podiversary. Sandy from Left is Right Crochet, it's going to be her 3-year podiversary. We're a couple days apart.
Mm-hmm.
So we may or may not have something in the works.
Nice.
So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Sandy was supposed to have been my guest a few weeks ago, and they had an emergency right beforehand. And so I'm still trying to connect with her so we can reschedule. So that's what I was talking to her about, trying to get on her. Oh, there she is. And she's leaving us. Boy, I cannot believe we have been on here for almost 2 hours. Can you believe that?
Holy cow. Time flies when you're having fun.
I know. I'm having such a wonderful time. Somebody a little bit ago told me to ask you about your canine blanket.
Oh, actually, that was Sandy from Left is Right's brainchild. She was making blankets for her canine unit in Kansas City. She had, I believe, 14 blankets that she had to make. So I was lucky. I only had five or six, five, I think. But yeah, it's the canine unit, police canine unit. And we made blankets for the canines, and I took it a little step further, and it was at Christmas time that I gave it to them. So I made up a care package with a chew toy, like a heavy duty chew toy, because they're all like German Shepherds.
Yeah.
And with treats and stuff like that. And I took them up to the police station, and I actually got back some photos of some of the canines with their blankets. They were so cute. So yeah, they were really, they were really appreciated that. And I got they have like this news thing that they do within the police department. They have, I guess, a newsletter or something that comes out, and they did a little write-up on me. So it was really kind of cool. I was just like,
wonderful.
Oh.
I have seen people that suggest making the blankets for like the shelters, the dog shelters and things like that. And in my mind, I'm like, dogs and blankets, they don't really mix. So how did you, what fabric? Well, you use acrylic, obviously, because you don't like the other things. How big did you make them?
Well, because they were for German Shepherds, you had to make them
pretty big,
quite big. I don't honestly remember, but I did them probably about 4 feet by 4 feet.
That sounds right.
You know, but I mean, even if it was like a blanket that they didn't particularly lay on, they might drag it around the house, you know, stuff like that. So I wasn't overly concerned about the size, but yeah, and it was all acrylic. You know, I wanted something that would be easy for them to wash, because they would need to wash it a lot. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, Sandy's, her blankets are like heavy duty, sturdy, you know, like I didn't do that. You know, like I did one, I think was a granny square kind of blanket. And I thought afterwards, I was kind of like, well, you know, their nails and stuff will be getting in that and whatever.
That's what I was concerned with.
Yeah. I mean, but it was the kind of the thought that counts, I guess. You know, I wanted to make the care package and everything, because our canine officers, they go through a lot. They go through rigorous training,
right?
You know, and they don't have a lot of downtime, you know, and so I wanted something that they could, you know, be at home relaxed, and they can just have something like a little hug, you know, and, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to do. But Sandy, holy man, she got 14 blankets. I was just like, oh, girl. Like, I was lucky.
Yes. Yeah. Well, when I get her on here, I'll have to ask her about them. And Angela says, I heard my name.
Oh,
Yes, Angela, I was just saying that in the next few weeks, I'm hoping to hit my 4,000 and I'm going to be doing a live celebration. And I'm hoping that you will join us as a guest on that as well. I also have to figure out because everybody knows I'm technology challenged. I know how to send you an invite as a guest. I don't know how to get a link to somebody to pop up during a show. So I've got to figure that out.
hmm.
And people do
You
it
know
all the
what?
time. They'll say anybody
I
who wants to pop up.
I'm thinking about doing a live, and I've been talking to Angela about it, and she's going, "You got to do it, you got to do it," and I'm just like, "Oh, but I'm so nervous," you know, because I don't know StreamYard,
Yeah,
and like I
it's
know
simple
Zoom, but I
because if
don't
I can
know
figure it out,
StreamYard.
anybody can. And it's the very, very simplest thing of I use it in the most simple way. I can't do any of the fancy stuff. I know
Mhm.
some people do like a wheel on here for giveaways, and I'd love to learn
Yeah,
how to do that. Um, because with my bingo, I tried to pull the bingo up because I've seen people do it. I can't figure it out. So I have the bingo running on my tablet and I just
mhm.
show, talk about the numbers. The
Right.
the base of StreamYard is very easy to use. It's a couple of clicks, but once you get to the fancy stuff, it ain't happening, and
Yeah.
it's not there. But yeah, I was a guest on Connie from Just Another Stitch
Mm.
and Angela, the Yarny Chicken Cat Lady. And after I did their two guests, I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. And I look back on those, and it wasn't that long ago. It was just a few months ago. And I'm like, oh, I was terrible on there. I can't believe they wanted me as a guest. And so now I have learned a lot. And almost every time I have a guest on here, they teach me something about how to do something. So it
Oh,
goes both ways for sure. Um,
yeah. That's going to be my next venture.
You'll love it. It takes one or two times, and then you're like, oh, I don't know what I was afraid of. This is awesome.
Well, I think I'm more afraid of the technology
Hmm.
than anything. And also, so many people are doing lives that, trying to find a slot.
Hmm.
Um, I'm thinking Saturdays, but I'm not sure. I
I
can't
do
do
know.
Sundays because George watches football,
Oh, yeah,
half the year.
yeah,
So he'll be jumping and yelling and stuff. So I can't have that. But I'm thinking Saturdays because there aren't a lot of videos that go out on the
yeah,
weekends, I
yeah.
notice.
I do
So,
know. My next week's guest, Kim, her and I can't think of her name. Her and another gal have a live Saturday morning that is well attended.
mhm.
Um, so you might want to do a little after that, but it doesn't matter. And I had the same concern. I was very, very worried. And what it boiled down to is I had to pick a day and a time because it was when I was in the oil fields. I had to pick a day and a time that was less busy for us.
Right.
That and Mr. worked tonight, so I had to wait for him to get up and be ready to handle the traffic, our gate. And so
Right.
that's how I came up with, at that point it was 10 o'clock central. And so he was up and ready to go by 10 o'clock. And then when I got back to Washington, it's 8 in the morning here for us. And
Mm.
well, I'll tell you what, those first couple of weeks, it was a little tough for me to be up and ready because I do a lot of things, get my banners updated. If I would do that in advance, but I'm not that organized. Um, then I got to liken the 8 o'clock morning because now it's 10 and the rest of the
Yeah.
day. But it is hard to pick a time. And finally, somebody, and I don't remember if it was either Angela or Dana, because Dana was my first guest and Angela was my second guest. And it's so funny because it's technology, people. Things are going to happen. Uh, with Miss Angela, my screen just went black. I was just gone. And
Oh,
what
wow.
she just carried on. And what we finally figured out was I had my computer plugged in, but it had come unplugged from the wall. And so the back
Oh,
so luckily I was able to grab something else and get brought up and
mhm.
it stayed live and she just carried on. And
Ah,
I've had dog issues in the middle of it. We had an accident on the site during one of them, and
Oh.
I had I think I had the Popeye guys on, and I'm like, there's an accident, I got to go deal, and so they just carried on the conversation while I dealt with this accident. So yes,
Wow.
Washington State. Oh yeah, I know Sequim. Yeah, I'm over on the other side. I'm right next to Idaho. So yeah, Miss Angela will tell me it's always an adventure when you're a guest. Like Dano, you never know what's going to happen. So, and was it last night? We were doing the bingo last night, and my internet kept just going down to
Mm.
nothing. And so I was a little concerned this morning when you said, I lost you, I've lost you. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. But it came back,
It
so
came
it's all
back.
good.
Yeah, it did. So technology is probably the most, because we can talk yarn for days
Oh yeah.
and pro projects and visit with people. That's never the issue. It's the technology. And there's also, other than StreamYard, there's also YouTube Live,
Mhm.
which is that's what Dana uses most of the time. It's free, and because with StreamYard, there's a limit to how many hours. Whoops, and then there's that. And this is very loud. I have told him. I've told him a million times, turn that thing down. He
Oh, I
won't do
do
it.
the same thing with George.
He's deaf as a
Got the
doornail.
Game of Thrones thing on his phone, and it's like just blares.
Yeah, yeah. Good
You
morning,
have people in
Christine.
the store going, "Hey, Game of Thrones."
Yeah. It is with the YouTube Live. It's free. With StreamYard, you're limited to the number of hours a month. I've never hit that. I'm kind of surprised I haven't, because my things have been going a little longer. But they are there's more doodads with the StreamYard. But if you just want a simple live, and I'm trying
Yeah.
to think of who. There's a couple people that I watch. I mean, Dana. I mean, you literally just turn it on and go.
Yeah.
I think you can set. I think you can set a one in the future, but I'm not 100% sure, because the only time I've used YouTube Live is while we were driving, and I wanted photos of the drive,
Right.
and so I knew it was going to be 3 or 4 hours, and so it was much easier to use that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, it's going to be trial and error for me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also think there's a way, and I haven't figured it out yet, but I think there's a way you can get on there and practice doing stuff, but not actually go like, well,
I watched a video, and I think you're right. I have to look at it. Like I had StreamYard on my computer, but I got rid of it because I thought, well, I'm not doing live, so what am I doing? But now I have to download it again. And yeah, you're right. I remember seeing something about that on a YouTube video.
Yeah. So that's a good one. And
That a
that's
lot.
what I'm going to have to do to figure out that bot, that night bot that everybody uses. I can't figure it out. And poor Angela, every time I call her, she's like, what? No, she's very, very sweet. Oh, we can figure that out. In her head, she's going, are you kidding me? So she spent probably an hour with me getting it set up, and I still can't get it to work. And then last week, AJ said, well, did you turn it on? What? Turn it on? So apparently I have to turn the thing up. Don't you laugh at me.
That is so me.
Yeah,
that would be totally me.
Yeah. Turn the thing on. So I got to
I'm laughing at you. I'm relating.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was automatically linked, because you got to link the thing. I thought it was linked, and so it was just something that ran in the background. Apparently not. So I got to figure that out.
Well, that's good. Good. You said that, because Angela said that to me too. She said, if you have StreamYard, make sure you got a Nightbot. And I'm just like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Nightbot makes it much easier, so people can drop their links, and if you have problem people, it'll block them for you. I don't know, but I think it has something to do with your messages. I don't know. I can't get the thing to work, so don't be getting any information from me.
I've heard that it times people out and stuff. Like,
yeah, it automatically, and that's kind of one of the reasons I shied away from it. Honestly, the only thing I wanted it for is to drop people's links. But
right.
your moderators can do that too if you've got 2 or 3 moderators. And I tell people, if you want to go look at somebody, their name's right there. It's right
Yeah.
there. Right there next to your picture. And again, because it's technology, I do know sometimes in a live, I can click on their picture. It takes me to their channel, brings me right back to the live. Other times I click on the picture and it doesn't do anything. So I've got no clue. But if there's somebody, I mean, I just keep a notebook and I write people's name down that I want to go and connect with. So
Yeah. It was so convenient back in, a couple of years ago when you were in a live and you can actually click on their name and it would take you to their, but
it
YouTube
doesn't seem
stopped
to
all
do
that.
And sometimes it still works for me, but not all the time. And it also depends on if I'm on my tablet, it does things differently than if I'm on my phone. And possibly even the difference between the iPhone and the Galaxy. That might have something to do with it. Melissa Crochets with Love. Yeah. She was on last week and she was telling me some things, Charlie. I need to pick her brain too. I'm so frustrated with technology. It's like I get one thing to work and I just go with it.
Yeah.
No changes, no updates. Don't ask me.
Keep it simple.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Sunshine, I'm going to let you go because it has been forever. I can't believe we chatted this long. I can't believe people hang in there. But I know they come and go and we get new people and they're like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't miss your life. Well, it's because we never stop talking. That's why. It's easy to not miss it. Ongoing thing. Yeah,
Well,
Charlie,
thank you so much for having me.
thank you. And I can't wait for you to do lives and I hope you'll invite me as a guest on one of your shows.
Absolutely.
It's going to be so much
Absolutely.
fun.
Once I figure it out.
It's way different. It is way different when you're hosting and when you're guesting. It's a whole different vibe. It feels totally different. At first I was really afraid to be a guest on people's shows. And once I got called up to a couple, I'm like, oh, this is fun. I like this.
Yeah.
It's very, very different. So don't forget, you guys, make sure you go to Crochet A Canada. Her link is in my description because, as you know, I can't download anything because technology. But it's in the description box below. I'm almost guarantee anybody who's already in here is already subscribed to you, Sandy. So I really appreciate you spending your time because I know your time is precious. Can't wait to see your upcoming things. I'm going to check out your marquee. I can almost guarantee I'm not going to participate because
you don't have to. Just,
I'll watch the videos for sure. They sound like a lot of fun. I always say, I'm going to do this. And
yeah.
And thank you so much, Lisa. I'm glad we kept you company today. And for everybody lurking, thank you for hanging in there with us. And don't forget to pop over to my 4,000 giveaway and get in for that. Take a guess for that knit crate box and keep watching for Monday Night Bingo and Tuesday morning visits with all different kinds of people. And hey, if there's somebody you'd like to have a visit with, pop a name down in the, after they do the video and they do the replay, you can put comments in there. Put a comment in there. Oh, what have you listed? Oh, my precious yarn. Thank you, Angela. Angela's a moderator, so she just dropped your link. Thank you, Angela.
Wow, thanks. She's always got my back.
Yes, she does. She speaks very highly of you. So I forgot what I was saying. Just go do all the things. Go watch everything and go do all the things. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.